Each picture in this book has a hare in it somewhere. Can you find him in this picture?
Recently, a friend of mine, Mr. Evan Owell, told me that he was taking part in a large scavenger hunt in Milwaukee looking for a medallion intentionally hidden by the organizers. When found, you could turn it in for the cash prize of $2,000. Now, unfortunately, somebody else beat him to it and found it hidden under a bird's nest in the grass after 70 hours of searching. I told him that it sounded like another treasure hunt in the 70s, which was on a much larger scale, but that one involved a very mysterious children's book. I promised him that I would cover it on this show because what man doesn't like a good old-fashioned code leading to buried treasure?
The Catholic Men's Podcast, helping you find good works of literature for the Catholic gentleman. In 1979, British artist Kit Williams published Masquerade, a children's book that combined fantasy storytelling with a real-world treasure hunt. The book tells a whimsical story about the moon sending a golden hare sculpture as a gift to the sun, with a rabbit named Jack Hare acting as the messenger. However, Jack loses the gift on his journey, and readers are challenged to find it themselves in real life, prompting a national treasure hunt across Britain. The treasure was real, an 18-karat gold hare, crafted by Kit Williams himself, adorned with jewels, hidden somewhere in the countryside. The author appalled the prospect of his kids' book being just like all the other ones, easily thumbed through and easily forgotten. He wanted to set fire to children's imagination and give them a love for adventure, so he planned a real-life treasure hunt for them, with the grand prize being later auctioned off at more than £30,000. Williams spent 3 years creating the book's 15 intricate illustrations, each containing hidden clues to the hare's location. Around each image was a border of cryptic text, and because I have the book, I'm going to show you how to crack the code. But now that I actually have it, I realized how weird and kind of off-putting the pictures are. So I don't know if I'd recommend getting it. But I only tell you this story because I appreciate his effort in trying to give children a sense of wonder and yearning for adventure. Anyway, this is how you crack the code to the best of my memory because it's pretty complicated. Now, each page features one or more characters. There's always a hare on each page, either hidden or otherwise. And in the case of page 1, he's concealed in the center, camouflaged as a hill. The position of his left eye and left hand, or paw in this case, are pointing to a letter around the border, and this is how you'd start. So you'd say his left eye and his left hand are pointing to C, so the first letter is C. Then you go left eye, left foot, and in this case it's really tricky because his foot is all the way down here. What's that pointing to? A. Then you go through the same process but on the right side of the character. So there's his right eye, right hand or paw, and it's pointing to T, and then right eye, right foot, which is over here, and it's pointing to H. And then you move on to the next character, which is this mouse right here, and I already know that it's going to spell out the name Catherine, so that's more or less how you do it. Once you collect all the hidden words from the pages, they form this mysterious message. Catherine's long finger overshadows earth-buried yellow amulet. Midday points the hour in light of equinox. Look you. If you take the first letters of those words, it forms a jumble of letters which can be rearranged to form a sentence. Close by Ampthill. And that's a town in Bedfordshire, England, and the phrase Catherine's long finger refers to a real monument in Ampthill Park, a tall stone cross commemorating Catherine of Aragon, the first wife of King Henry VIII. On the spring equinox at midday, the tip of the cross's shadow would point exactly to the spot where the hare was buried. Over 30,000 people wrote to Kit Williams with guesses, yet years passed and no one had cracked the full solution. Concerned that the puzzle was too difficult, Williams published a hint in the Sunday Times in December 1980, an image requiring reflection in a mirror to decode a riddle about using 4 men from 20, referring to fingers and toes. This tip guided 2 physics teachers, Mike Barker and John Rousseau, to the correct method. By early 1982, they were so close to locating the hare. Unfortunately, before Barker and Rousseau could send in their solution or dig on the equinox, another man contacted Williams with a crude sketch suggesting he knew the Hare's location. He phoned the man, only to realize that he had found the site through guesswork, not logic. Nevertheless, Kit, bound by the rules, confirmed the spot, allowing the man to dig up the Hare. Ken Thomas appeared wearing a pipe, hat, and fake mustache. He gave a single interview with a distorted voice to the news. His implausible story about finding the site by chance while walking his dog further frustrated the many fans of Masquerade. The piece sold for nearly $32,000. Investigative journalist Frank Branston uncovered the truth behind the winner. Ken Thomas was actually Doug Thompson, who had been working with John Gard, both involved in a company called Haresoft, which created a computer game called Hare Raiser. The game mimicked Masquerade and falsely claimed that solving it would lead to the Hare. John Gard's girlfriend, Veronica Robertson, used to date Kit Williams and had been present during the picnic when the author had secretly marked the burial spot with a magnet. So she never solved the puzzle, but she had a very good idea of where it was and told her new boyfriend, John Gard, who in turn spilled the beans to Thompson. Williams was devastated. He felt betrayed by people close to him and saddened for the many sincere treasure hunters who had played by the rules. Even so, many believed that the journey of solving the riddle and engaging with Williams's art was a reward in itself. Years later, the golden Hare resurfaced after a woman contacted a radio program revealing her grandfather had acquired it. Williams was able to reunite with his creation at last. He also met Barker and Rousseau, who had genuinely solved the puzzle. Although they never unearthed the treasure, they were acknowledged as the real solvers. So I tip my hat to Kit Williams, because he succeeded in rekindling people's thirst for adventure and captivated the imagination of millions of readers. If you'd like to hear more stories from the Catholic Men's Podcast, just click on the link above me here. God bless you, and Our Lady keep you.